Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm at the Registration Admission One-Stop Insurance Service Center, Expat Liaison Center here at Bumrungrad Hospital. Most of these larger hospitals, Samiti Way, what's the other one? Med Park. These are large expat hospitals. Bumrungrad's probably at the top of the list for fancy expat private hospitals here in Bangkok. I mean, there are folks in here from all over the world, the Middle East especially. They come here for top-notch service. These offices, that gentleman who just walked in there, he's helping me out. I'm in a unique position, and I'm lucky that my Blue Cross has an addendum on it. It's called Geo Blue, which is good for overseas benefits. I'm sure I'm a retired federal worker, and I'm sure I'm on the same policy as many of the guys that work over here in the embassy and work abroad. So I'm lucky I can carry that insurance into my retirement. I know not everybody is going to have that benefit, but if you are a retired worker, make sure during open enrollment or before you retire that you talk to everybody to see which insurances. Again, I have Blue Cross. I was a mailman. I'm not sure if Cigna or some of the others have overseas coverage. I'm sure there are more than one with the U.S. federal government. Heck, I think there's 25 plans to choose from. So if you're planning on using your U.S. insurance in Thailand or abroad, just make sure it has that addendum on there. I know I had a guy, I believe he was a firefighter in Cleveland, who also had Blue Cross, and he told me he did not have that overseas coverage, which kind of makes sense. The city of Cleveland is probably not in the business of having folks abroad. Again, I'm lucky there, but do what you can. This is just a small majority of people that are going to be in the same position I am as far as using the Blue Cross over here. But I will just go over coming to a fancy hospital like Bumrungrad in the case with insurance from abroad. Maybe it'll work the same way with your Australian insurance or UK insurance, private insurance, I assume. But I'll just go over what happened to me today. I got a little bronchial thing going on. It's going on 10 days. I've never had bronchitis. I'm going to start coughing here if I breathe too deep. But Boone, my girlfriend, kind of get into the doctor. What are you doing here? Just get in there, clear it up. So what happened was, you need a guarantee of benefit. You'll hear it referred to as a GOB, and there's two ways of doing it. In the case of Blue Cross, you call the certain number, and Blue Cross doesn't do it. They have a separate company that is in the business of working with foreign hospitals, and I'm sure just in conversations with that place, and it switches every year. It was an outfit called GMMI last year, and I don't know who it is today, Care First perhaps. Well, when I spoke with a lady yesterday, she goes, "Oh, I'm very familiar with Bumrungrad, a top-notch hospital. I deal with them all the time. If you want to see she sent me to a pulmonary." That's how it works here in Thailand. You don't come in and see a doctor, kind of a one-stop shop. If you're having concerns with your heart, you come in and see a cardiologist, even if you just want to talk to him about your heart or renew your statin prescription. In the U.S., it doesn't really work that way. If you're from the UK or Australia, Europe, watching this video, in the U.S., we go to our, how do you call it, our home doctor, and he or she pretty much does everything for us. They'll order an x-ray, they'll order a physical. They could handle this bronchitis issue. But here in Thailand, it's all specialized. So I had to pay a specialty copay. My insurance follows me. It does not matter if I go to Harvard Medical School in the U.S. or come to a county hospital here in Thailand. I am responsible for a $45 U.S. copay. Again, it doesn't matter if the office visit here is $60 or $70 US, which it probably was, I still have to pay $45 US. I also will pay 15% of lab work and 15% of, I guess it's still lab work if they do a CAT scan or in the case today, they did a chest x-ray. Now, some things are free. Annual physicals are free. Colonoscopy once a year, I believe mammograms for ladies. You'll have to check into your insurance. And if you don't have this guarantee of benefit, you have to pay the cash price when you come see the doctor here and then send your bills to insurance and get reimbursed. Now, this hospital is in network, just like I was going to a hospital, say in San Diego. You just pay a copay, and that's exactly what I did today. I got the guarantee of benefit one day ahead of time. Sometimes you can do it a couple hours ahead of time, but try to give as much notice as you can. Obviously, if it's an emergency, you need to come in, be treated, pay the bill in full, and then get reimbursed. But that guarantee of benefit will make your life simpler if these are folks that are checking into the hospital. But that guarantee of benefit will make your life simpler, or will make the process simpler, as far as everybody's on the same page, the insurance, the hospital, they give you the paperwork as to what it costs. Now, just for example, what I did today, if you're curious as to how seeing a doctor at Bumrungrad is going to work with insurance, I got my GOB yesterday. It was yesterday afternoon. In fact, I may have seen a doctor last night. However, there were no pulmonary guys working Saturday night. I'm seeing the pulmonary guy. They have a McDonald's here in Bumrungrad. I'm seeing the pulmonary guy on a Sunday today, and he wants to do a follow-up, but my guy told me, hey, it's 1 p.m, I'm out of here, so come back next Tuesday. Go get your chest x-ray, take this medicine, let's see if that helps. If not, we'll go to the next step, which he didn't really get into it, but let's see what the x-ray looks like. I'm sure it's going to be clear. And if there's some kind of spot on my lung or something, then maybe he'll take the next step of a CT scan, or I don't know what. I'm not really worried about it. I think this is kind of a routine deal here. I just got some gunk in my chest. I'm sure the funky Bangkok air isn't doing me any favors, but whatever. As you get older, you just have more things creep up. Anyhow, I had to come up to the insurance office to get a separate guarantee of benefit for that follow-up visit. I'm sure I will then be responsible for another $45 copay. So in other words, not in other words, but what happened today? I got the guarantee of benefit. I came, they'll tell you, there's here at Bumrungrad, I'm looking across the way at Building A. That right there is the emergency room. I'm not sure if it's Building B. There's A, B, C, and D. It's a large hospital. You can call the hospital. I registered as a patient years ago, and I have a Bumrungrad card. So you just call in, give them your hospital number, explain the situation. They don't really care about the guarantee of benefit. They're more the come on in and see a doctor, and paying for it or insurance, you're kind of on your own there. Otherwise, you're just going to pay cash. So I did my due diligence. I got a guarantee of benefit for pulmonary. I made the appointment. Once I got the guarantee of benefit, I come in, they tell you go straight to Building A, in this case, Building A, 15th floor. You go in, they check you in, they put a wristband on you like you're being admitted to the hospital. You'll do basic blood pressure and weight, and you wait for the doctor. It's all pretty quick. It's none of this waiting 3 hours. I think I waited 15 minutes to see the doctor. He then ordered blood work, urine work, chest x-ray, and it gets a little confusing because I haven't had a physical in over a year. It's been 14 months. So I just wanted the basics. At least let's let's do some blood, let's check the sugar levels, let's check all these kind of things, cholesterol. And rather than making a separate appointment, I received a separate GOB for the free, quote unquote, free physical that you get each year on my insurance. You have to be a little careful here at Bumrungrad, because what they consider a physical is a full hearing test, a full eye test, a CAT scan, I believe, on basic organs, looking for tumors. Things that a U.S. free physical is not going to cover. So I've seen other people make YouTube videos, oh man, look at this extensive physical Bumrungrad is giving me and it's free. Well, I thought that same thing, and guess what? I received a bill, whatever it was, 2 months later, that, hey, you owe a $40 copay for that eye exam, a $40 copay for that hearing test. You owe 15% of that CAT scan. Again, insurance is going to pay for it all, but in the case of the U.S. saying they pay for your physical for free, they're not going to pay for a hearing test as part of that physical. If you need a hearing test, you pay the specialty copay for a hearing test and knock it out. So I know a lot of this is confusing. I've did other videos and there's been a lot of questions. So shoot me a comment if you're totally confused, but that's how it works here. Just be advised that a physical is way more extensive than a physical is in the U.S. So don't think that's going to be, the quote-unquote free annual physical. Now, the colonoscopy, that was a minor, I guess it's a full-on surgery. I mean, it was a general anesthetic. That was supposed to be free, and it was free. But everybody's on the same page as to what a mammogram or a colonoscopy is. A physical, like I say, this is a Cadillac hospital, and they'll come in and it really, the cash price is really not that much. I want to say it was, I don't know, $1,500 US. I get these different emails like male cancer screening is on sale. The equivalent of $900 US. Come on in and we'll put you in the different machines and check all the vital organs. So even if you don't have insurance, which is not a great idea, some of the cash prices here are not bad. I mean, if you are going to get insurance, albeit Thai insurance, and that can be pretty expensive, perhaps get Thai catastrophic insurance. It's just going to cover the big stuff, and pull that $500, $1,000 out of your pocket at least every couple of years and come in and get one of these, excuse me, very extensive physicals that I don't know what it would cost in the U.S. It certainly wouldn't be $1,500 to get a major physical with CAT scans and this and that and stress test on your hearts and on and on and on. Look up Bumrungrad, providing excellent health care at a cost. The one thing I will bring up, it's not a major issue, but I am now a little bit of a veteran with Bumrungrad, or this is really the only place I have experience. I'm sure it's the same with different hospitals in Thailand, much less Bangkok. What you have to be aware of when you receive this guarantee of benefit, even if it's with a zero copay. I had a procedure, a small procedure. I don't have hepatitis, and there is a vaccine that I never received. I don't remember which, if it's hepatitis A or B or something. Anyhow, I did a physical, and she asked me, "Your hepatitis negative, but have you ever, received the vaccine?" And I said I did not. So she said, let's do it. I called insurance. I got a guarantee of benefit, and everybody said it's zero for preventive vaccine. About 2 months later, and this happened a couple of times here at Bumrungrad, I have a guarantee of benefit. This particular thing said zero. It was 2 shots, I believe, and I received a bill for, it was nothing, like $6 US, again in Thai baht, whatever that is, 35 times 6. And I was a little confused. Hey, I have a guarantee of benefit that says zero. My insurance agrees, the hospital agrees. However, I just received a bill for $6. Well, what it turned out was when Bumrungrad sends the bill to Blue Cross, even though everybody's in agreement, the hepatitis vaccine is free, sometimes things, I don't know, they don't translate exactly right. In the case of that bill, what happened was they billed for the hepatitis vaccine, then there was something on the bill, and I received this information from my insurance, Blue Cross, it didn't have a medical code next to it. It just said medical care. And in my insurance said, we just don't pay medical care. We pay hepatitis shot code XY7/2. That we paid for. Unknown medical care, hey, tell us what it is and we'll be glad to pay for it. When I asked Bumrungrad, what is this? They just said it's medical care, and it has to be paid for. So you're going to have to decide how many arguments you want to get into over $6. In my case, it's 0. I just paid the $6. I do not want to burn a bridge with one of the finer hospitals in town over $6, or to be quite honest, over $60. If there's going to be, I hate to call it a lack of communication, but a lack of billing, say, I'm sure the way they do a medical bill in Thailand is different than how they're going to do it in the United States. And if there's going to be some kind of $10 or $20 overlap, you're just going to have to suck it up and pay it. I know some people will stomp their feet and there's no way I'm getting ripped off. It's supposed to be a 0% copay. That's all good and fine, but the next time you come into Bumrungrad to be treated, I'm sure they're going to say, hey, you owe us $20 from a year ago, and if you don't want to pay it, they don't mess around here. I mean, today they basically told me, go see the pulmonologist, I guess that's what he's called, the lung guy, then go pay your bill and go get the x-ray, go get your medicine, etc. So there is a certain portion of pay your bill before we move on to the next stage. And if you refuse to pay a bill, they send you in the mail, and that's what it was. It was an email, plus they followed it up with a bill in the mail and it's happened to me 3 or 4 times. Let's say I've came in here, I don't know how many times, 10 times over the past 3 years for minor things like dermatology checkup. That was another thing. That was supposed to be a 0% copay. Cancer screening, go to the dermatologist. It was a nice lady. She did a full workup on me. Now, she found some things. I'm 58 years old. I want to burn this off. I want to freeze this off. This I want to put under the microscope. So that free cancer screening turned into a minor medical surgery. I mean, it is what it is, and that was a $150 copay. You think the $150 copay would have got more complicated with the bill? It did not. I never heard back from them. I paid the $150 US and we were good to go. The free, quote unquote, free screening, that cost me about $35 US for whatever reason. Again, you can't really argue. You can, but it's not going to do you any good. What it turned out to be was, I don't even fully understand what happened. Basically, she did the free screening, and I think she wrote it up like she froze something off me during that free screening. She did not. She told me, I want to freeze this off. It was nothing, just like a benign skin tag. And then she goes, this is a little sketchy to me. It turned out to be nothing, but she said, I want to cut this off, or lance it, or whatever the proper term is, and put it under the microscope and see if it's skin cancer. It turned out it was not. But somehow, 2 months later, I got a bill. I assumed it was a bill from the medical procedure, the freezing and the lancing. And they said, no, it was from the other date, which was supposed to be free. So again, it kind of not drove me crazy, but for a little while, it got me thinking, what am I doing wrong here? You know, I'm getting my guarantee of benefit, I'm going in, and 2 months later, I'm getting a bill. It turns out it's just hit or miss. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. You need to just do your due diligence, get your guarantee of benefit, and expect a month or two later, once the bills are all settled, that Bumrungrad might say, hey, Blue Cross, the way they worded it, they refuse to pay this $7. They refuse to pay this $11. You know, they didn't pay this $21, so you owe us $70 and we're all good here. When you get a hold of Blue Cross, sorry I'm mumbling a little bit here, I do have bronchitis, I guess. They say, hey, we billed what they billed us and we paid correctly. If they're going to send something that just says medical care, we're not going to pay it. However, Blue Cross said, we understand there might be a little lack of communication in the billing, so there is a, what's the word? I'm drawing a blank on the word. Where I can submit the bills I paid. They basically told me, go ahead and pay what Blue Cross or Bumrungrad is asking, and then resubmit it to us with an explanation of everything that happened here, and we'll reimburse you. So reconsideration, I guess. So I'm sure Cigna, Aetna, all these different insurance companies, sorry, there's some construction going on behind me, will have these different reconsideration departments. So do the best you can with the insurance. If you get a bill, and expect you're going to, I'll say 50% of the time I get a follow-up bill from Bumrungrad. Hey, Blue Cross didn't pay what they said they were going to pay, and you know, Blue Cross is saying now Bumrungrad didn't bill us correct. So just pay it, and then keep track of everything, keep track of all these receipts, on and on, resubmit it for reconsideration, and you'll get your $50 back. It's just not the end of the world. So that's a little peek here at Bumrungrad. Fine hospital, excellent care. It's just going to work a little different than going to a hospital or a doctor in the United States with U.S. insurance. I mean, I'm asking the system to use my U.S. insurance over here in Thailand, and it's going to work 99.5% of the time. That other percentage, you're just going to have to pay it. And if that's going to, you know, make you super frustrated, and I've seen different people on different YouTubes saying, well, forget this place, you know, I'm going to go to another hospital. It's going to work the same at any of the hospitals in town. It just is what it is. If you want to get away from all that, well, then buy yourself a Thai policy. And that is not as cheap as you may think. I've seen different people online saying, you know, I'm 60 years old and they're quoting me over $1,000 a month. And yeah, I mean, if you want the best type of private insurance, my girlfriend, she's lucky. She has work insurance and government insurance. And she'll even tell me if it's something simple, if she were to go into, and she goes to a private hospital, it's not Bumrungrad. I mean, every Thai person you talk to, they're like, oh, that's for rich people, you know. She goes to a private hospital where she'll tell them, if it's just something simple, like she has what I have today, bronchitis, she'll just say, I'm just using my regular Thai government insurance, like any Thai citizen. And she says it'll be, I'll just make it up. She said a 600 baht copay. Now, if she said, I also have insurance from work, fancy private insurance, then they will say, oh, it's a 3,000 baht copay. So there's a little bit of that going on over here. The finer insurance you have, the higher things cost. It doesn't make total sense, but it's almost like government insurance at a government hospital is all fairly affordable. You can get into arguments as to the level of care you're going to get. And I'm not even going to get into that argument. I've heard other people who I respect and have lived here 20 plus years tell me a lot of the doctors, even at the cheaper government hospitals, like say a doctor here at Bumrungrad, he or she might do a day at a government hospital every week or every couple of weeks. So there are fine doctors there. It's just a little bit more, less hand holding. Like here at Bumrungrad, you'll sit there with a doctor for 20 minutes and they'll answer your every little concern. Where in the county hospital, from what I understand, you might see that doctor for 20 seconds, you know. Oh, I think you have bronchitis. I'm ordering this medicine. I'm on to the next patient. If you need medical care, I would not shy away from the government hospital. I have no experience with it. I'm sure there is a lot less English going on than here in Bumrungrad, where they probably speak 25 different languages. But this is just my 2 cents on the area and what happened to me today. So shoot me a comment. Again, I can't answer, hey, how much is it going to cost to go on in there and see a doctor privately? I have no insurance. I have no idea. I have U.S. insurance. But if you are a retired U.S. federal person and you know you're using Blue Cross or something like that, I might be able to at least tell you what happened to me. So thank you for following along the Bumrungrad today. I'm going to wander on out of here. I just powered down a bunch of medicine, so I should probably go get a bite to eat. We'll see you later. More videos to come.